What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another video. Today we're going to be doing the Manchester City loan report numero dos in our loan report series. But before I crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content and you want to help to support my channel, then do make sure you have subscribed. Also, don't forget as well, social media links, they're in the description below if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below, so if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries, let's leave a thumbs up as well if you do enjoy this video. Once more, 200 likes is the like goal, and also let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But first, this video, it's sponsored and it's brought to you by OneFootball. This video is brought to you by OneFootball. If you want to download the OneFootball app, all you need to do is press the link at the top of my description, which will take you forward to where you can download this app. The OneFootball app is extremely useful if you are a huge football fan just like me. It provides you with the latest footballing news, transfer news, and the latest videos as well. It is one source of information of where I get my transfer news from. It also allows you to see the latest scores with what's happening in the footballing world. If you just click on a game, including any Manchester City game, it will not only bring up the latest team news, but it will also bring up the latest statistics and keep you up to date with everything happening in that game. If you want to download this app, all you need to do is press the link at the top of the description to stay up to date. Thank you very much to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. If you want to go and check that out, then all the details there in the description. Let's crack on with this video. We're going to be covering today Gavin Bazunu, Marlos Moreno, Yangel Herrera, and also Pedro Porro. So let's start first with Gavin Bazunu, the Irish 20-year-old goalkeeper. He spent the season out on loan at League One side Portsmouth, currently made 36 appearances in League One, conceding 39. He's also kept 15 clean sheets, and he is having a very good season now. Very recently, Portsmouth's manager Danny Cowley, he said that Gavin Bazunu, he's the best player that he has ever worked with, and that's so great to hear. With young players heading out on loan, they're impressing so much that they're going out there, they're not just taking it easy. It's not our club, I'm not that bothered, I'm not going to try. Not a bit of it. Gavin Bazunu has done that, and it's brilliant to hear that he's not only getting regular playing time and enjoying himself, but he's also being a complete professional whilst he's out on loan there, which is really good to hear. Like I said, it's a great spell out on loan for him. It's really worth this move to Portsmouth, so much so that he's had international call-ups, he's played for Ireland, he's made appearances for them, he started regularly for them, and he's impressed on international duty with Ireland too. So I can see very soon Gavin Bazunu taking big strides in his career, and I reckon within 2 or 3 seasons we could be seeing him playing for a top class team, whether that would be in England or with Manchester City, or whether that might be abroad. That remains to be seen. I can see one day, if Zach Steffen leaves in the next couple of seasons, Bazunu possibly even being the understudy to Ederson. He is a brilliant, brilliant player, and I can see if Portsmouth aren't promoted this season, they're currently 8 points behind the playoffs with a game in hand, with 8 games to play. So they could still make the playoffs, they could still be promoted, but if they're not, then I can see Manchester City wanting to loan Bazunu out to the Championship. That's the next step up. Championship will be a real test for him, and I can see a lot of Championship clubs being interested in signing him, and I can see him being number 1 at a lot of Championship clubs as well. So I think demand for Bazunu will be very high, and so we'll see what is going to happen with that. He started 95% of games for Portsmouth in League One, which is brilliant to hear, and Bazunu, he's contracted at Manchester City until 2024. Now, moving on, let's speak about Marlos Moreno. It isn't really a loan report series from me unless I have spoken about Marlos Moreno. He's a 25-year-old Colombian winger. I know a lot of you are going to be asking, why is he still a Manchester City player? And I don't actually have the answer for you. Anyway, he's been sent out on loan. He's currently playing for KV Kortrijk. I hope I said their name correctly, their team name. They're based in Belgium. He's made 30 appearances. He's not assisted any goals, but he has scored a couple of goals. He started 75% of games. And he's getting regular minutes, which is really good to hear. He's had many unsuccessful loans whilst being at Manchester City. He's played for Lommel SK, Portimonense over in Portugal, Santos Laguna in Mexico, Flamengo in Brazil. He's also played for Girona and Deportivo La Coruña in Spain as well. That's 7 loans since he's been at Manchester City since 2016. He spent every single season out on loan since Manchester City signed him for nearly £5 million from Atlético Nacional in Colombia. And catch this, amazingly, he isn't out of contract. We've still got another season of Marlos Moreno, and we have the possibility of maybe one more time mentioning Marlos Moreno on a Manchester City loan report with me, which would be nostalgic to say the least. But I do feel like for the sake of his career this summer, he does need to leave permanently so he can really kick on. But like I said, he's had regular minutes, which is more than what he's had with a lot of other loans, so that is good. Now moving on, Yangel Herrera. I like Yangel, I rate him, I think he's a quality player. I do think over the last season or two in the transfer window, he has been mismanaged ever so slightly by Manchester City. Now he had a very successful first season with Granada back in the 2019-2020 season. He then went, instead of having a permanent transfer with COVID hitting and everything, he went and spent another season out on loan at Granada for the 2020-2021 season, which I didn't get. I thought it was a waste, and I felt like City could have found him a better loan. But there we go, we sent him back to the same place, which I'm never a fan of. We did it with Patrick Roberts, it didn't work there, and I didn't think it worked for Yangel Herrera either. But anyway, he was a massive success at Granada, to a point that Manchester City last summer could have sold him for a really nice profit. And I was speaking last year about the potential of Manchester City even utilising him in our first team, because he is a really good player. He's a fantastic player, and we never got anything sorted for him this summer. We didn't use him for any friendlies, we didn't use him in and around the first team squad. And so Manchester City instead went and explored the possibility of loaning him, and they didn't loan him until transfer deadline day, in fact, where we sent him out on loan to Espanyol in Spain. Again, another loan to Spain. I feel like he's achieved everything there is to achieve in Spain. Now, he's made 16 appearances for Espanyol this season. He's assisted one and scored one. He's a defensive midfielder. The stats don't really work when it comes to defensive midfielders. It's very difficult to be able to judge how good a defensive midfielder can be, but I've seen Yangel Herrera play previously. He is a very good player. Now, he's played 46% of all games in La Liga. He did break his leg in the summer playing for Venezuela, and that did affect his progress and the potential of Manchester City loaning him out. But if a player's starting to recover from his broken leg, I'm fairly sure there would have been other clubs willing to take that opportunity to loan Yangel Herrera, even if that just means taking him to a top club in the Championship and letting him have, even if it's a step below into the Championship. But I just feel like just to try and prove himself, give him something different, something new, something that's going to give him more skill sets, that's going to serve him really well in the future. Just having a third season in La Liga I just didn't think was going to work too well. But when Yangel has started for Espanyol, there's no surprise when I say that he's been very good for them, just like he was at Granada. So City do still have the potential of being able to sell the Venezuelan, but are we going to do that? I don't really know how City are going to work it. I imagine City are going to be looking for a bit of profit. 15 million euros is what was mentioned in the summer, and City might be looking to try and do that for this summer potentially. He's 24 years old. He's still nearing in on his peak. He's got a few years left on his contract with Manchester City, contracted until 2024. So there is still the opportunity here of City being able to make some money on him, and also finding a suitable club there for Yangel Herrera really to kick on. Considering he's done 3 seasons in La Liga, that might be suggesting that he is going to stay in Spain. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait if there is any interest in him and if clubs can afford him. If not, it could be another loan. But like I said, if City want to do that, then and want to maximise his value and maximise his experience, then get him away from La Liga and Spain. But he's doing well. It's good that he's recovered really well from his broken leg. It can be a big setback that in a career, and it's good to see that he's starting games and impressing once more. Now, moving on, lastly, Pedro Porro, 22-year-old Spanish right wing-back, currently out on loan at Sporting Club de Portugal, and we've seen firsthand what he can do because he's played against Manchester City already in the Champions League against us for Sporting. Now, he's been at Sporting for nearly 2 seasons. This season, he's made 17 appearances for the Portuguese Premier Division side, scoring 3, assisting 4. He's having a very good season. He has struggled a lot, though, with muscle injuries this season, meaning he has missed 11 games. But on the plus side, when he has been fit, he has been getting starts, he has been playing for Sporting, and he's a revelation. He's a brilliant player. 7 appearances in the Champions League. You know, like I said, we've had a first-hand chance to be able to see what he can do against us in the last 16 of the Champions League. He's a good player, really good. He's attracting interest from Bayern Munich. He's been that impressive, and that's how good he can be. Now, Sporting do have the option of making his transfer permanent. 8.5 million euros is what I have heard. That would be, from Manchester City, a £3 to £4 million loss on our part, because we did sign him from Girona for £11 million back in 2019. Now, if that doesn't materialise, and I am expecting that to materialise, Sporting are talking with Manchester City right now to try and make that transfer permanent. Manchester City want to install a buyback clause of around €20 million, is what I've heard with regards to that. Then Manchester City will have a decision to make in the summer. We could choose to sell him to the highest bidder. Transfer Market online, they said that his value is at around £22 million, so €15 million to €20 million may be an achievable fee for Manchester City, but it's Sporting that have the option to sign him for €8.5 million. And I think what City are going to be very careful of here is Sporting signing him for €8.5 million and then selling him for his value of around 15 to 20 million euros and getting a cool 10-15 million euro profit from other clubs just to utilise their option of signing him on loan. And I think that's what Manchester City are going to be very careful of, and that's why I want a buyback clause included in that. And I think Manchester City will be very careful to see what happens, and I think they might even put a clause in there to say that he can't be sold within a certain set period of time. So Manchester City aren't used here with a great player to be profited, because he's our player, and if a club's going to profit, it's going to be us, not another team that's just utilising a clause in a contract. But we'll have to see how Manchester City do. City are normally very good at selling young players, if I am completely honest. But I just want to talk very quickly about the potential of Pedro Porro adapting to become a right back from a right wing back. Now, we have a little bit of a headache. Cancelo, we can make him a permanent left back and compete with Alexander Zinchenko, and we've got Kyle Walker that can play at right back, but there's a position there for a full back for Manchester City, and Pedro Porro could well be the answer. I'm hearing that Yang Couto is going to be the player that's going to be given the nod by Manchester City. He's currently out on loan. I'll cover him in another loan report where I'll discuss this in more detail. But I want to say that Pedro Porro shouldn't be forgotten about, because he is a very good player. He's got Champions League experience under his belt. He's got Portuguese Premier Division experience under his belt as well. He is a very good player. With the right management, the right facilities, he can really push on with his career. And should Yang Couto not work, then Pedro Porro would be a player that I would consider. Now, if Sporting don't take up their option to sign him, I would like to see Yang Couto and Pedro Porro return to Manchester City and have these two players have a full pre-season with Manchester City and see where they develop and how they're performing. And I'd be saying to both the players, there's a position in the first team squad ready for you if you go and impress. They're my thoughts. Like I said, City seem to be signing with Yang Couto over Pedro Porro. Maybe that's down to the clauses in the loan contracts and making permanent transfers that City just feel like the transfer is going to get done, so it's not going to happen. But we'll have to see. We've had a similar situation with Angelino that just didn't work out, and that was a great shame. And I've got a feeling Pedro Porro here may well go the same way. He's currently contracted at Manchester City until 2024. I just feel like we're at the end of the road now for loans. Whatever happens, if it's the first team squad, a move to Sporting or a move elsewhere, I just feel like it's time for Pedro Porro to go and spread his wings and have a permanent base for him, whether that's at City or at another club, and let him push on with his career, because he's a brilliant player and he's at that level now where he's ready to be a first team regular, not in on the loan chain like other loan players are and other players are that down the years. Chelsea are a prime example, just loaning a player, and what Pedro Porro doesn't want to be is end up like Marlos Moreno, who still has another year left at Manchester City. So there we go. That's been the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, leave a thumbs up. 200 likes. That's the aim. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Less than 500 subs away from 23,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Overall aim 25k. We're closing in. Any help towards that would be brilliant. Also, don't forget as well, social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Go and check out today's video sponsor, OneFootball. Details and links there in the description. Thanks to OneFootball for sponsoring this loan report once more, and I'll see you all again very soon. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.